special election is until December 9th. And I think that's when things will kind of get a little rough again, you know?
Yeah, like some people glance at you in a little bit of a mean way.
I do think we'll look back on this one day and laugh about it and think it's not that big of a deal. But I'm sorry that it's been hard on you.
It's okay.
And I think you know that I would never do anything to put you like in danger or make a bad decision, right?
Yes.
You know, I still really feel like all along this was the right thing.
Marijuana, pot, grass, whatever you want to call it, is probably the most dangerous drug in the United States.
I shall continue to oppose efforts to legalize marijuana.
I inhaled frequently. That was the point.
What we're doing now is creating the next big tobacco of our time.
This is a highly regulated business.
We're talking about daylighting a black market activity.
We are on the cutting edge of a brand new industry. This is absolutely the next gold rush. This is the green rush.
Now the dominoes are falling, especially when they see the economic revenue.
There's $2 billion to be had next year. I plan to take more than my fair share.
It's our hopefully final inspection for approval to be able to move all the plants that we need to upstairs. Brian doesn't want the cameras up there right now. We're just trying to make sure this goes as smoothly as possible. It seems like every time we don't pass an inspection, it's because we have to buy hundreds or thousands of dollars worth of more equipment or whatever it is. We don't have any more money, so I hope this is the final inspection.
All right, dude. We'll see you soon.
Don't know what happened. Fingers crossed.
We passed. Hey, time to put plants upstairs. It's all working out.
I think they're bringing up 250 or some odd plants. In 3 weeks, we will begin adding 54 plants a week.
To be able to finally be able to grow, and the biggest area that we'll have licensed. This is huge. This will be a big day for the company.
So I got Catherine calling right now. Hey, Catherine.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Good.
Where do you stand on this Main Street stuff right now?
We do not intend to spend a ton of money. We are not raising money like the opposition is. We are simply asking our customers who are locals that can register to vote and hopefully do, to vote in our favor, but we won't be actively engaging in a strong offensive.
You need to incite passion, and you're not going to do that by sitting back.
What's your skin in this game? I feel like you've put a ton of thought into it.
Yeah, I have put a ton of thought into it. So here's the cards on the table. I am interested in getting further entrenched into this industry, right? That's why I'm so passionate about it. I do have interest in a grow facility that's outside of Breckenridge. I'm really fearful at how bad this is going to look for the industry.
If we lose, you mean?
If we lose.
I feel you. That's a valid concern.
So that's why I personally have gotten so involved in it. So
it's good to hear where your motivations came from.
Sure.
I'm open to the idea of teaming up with Catherine on this campaign for sure. That last phone call was probably her best showing to me yet. Right now, there's two options. Win the election, stay on Main Street, and then the other option is sit in the same parking lot as everyone else, which is just in no one's best interest.
There's 800,000 residents in Amsterdam and 200 coffee shops. So they got one pot shop for every 4,000 residents there. In Breckenridge, what we're talking about is 5 shops and 5,000 residents. So we're 4 times as dense as what Amsterdam is. What I want is to not have shops on Main Street. Clearest pathway I see to do that is to have a vote of the people where they speak and say no. I started a political action committee, Breck for Thoughtful Marijuana. We have a plan. It's going to start with a phone survey, and then there'll be some direct mail elements, op-ed or letters to the editor. Of course, there's window signs for the shops. The contributions were over $15,000 to this point and headed towards 25. There's about 2,100 registered voters in Breckenridge. It's making sure that they understand the message is we don't want retail marijuana stores on Main Street yet.
So Brian's looking to lose about $600,000 a month if he has to compete with everybody else. If I were looking to lose $600,000 a month, I would be putting $500,000 into the vote.
I can't think of an example where a compliant, legally operating, friendly, community-centric business was simply asked to stop operating. There's a chance we could lose, but I do believe that the electorate has spoken at least 3 times on this topic. And every time it's been a resounding 2/3 plus yes vote on marijuana. And now we still have to defend ourselves at a special election. 4 weeks today, it is go time.
We are really behind on this. Whether or not the opposition waited until last Friday to officially kick this off, they've been campaigning at cocktail parties for 2 months. They've been out ahead of this, and we are really behind, and we are now an uphill battle that we need to jump ahead of before people start sending in their ballots.
Most people seem to agree so far that our major concern is turnout. If everyone votes,
Agreed.
we'll probably be just fine. We're just trying to get everyone to vote and to not lose any of our yes votes to misinformation.
Correct.
We're going to do a Q&A session. The ad just simply says, please join staff of Breckenridge Cannabis Club for a Q&A.
Why is it staff of Breckenridge Cannabis Club? This needs to be a broader industry perspective. You have got to have a broader view.
The ad didn't say, join us for reasons why the Breckenridge Cannabis Club needs to stay downtown. It said, join us for question and answer if you have any concerns.
You're going to lose this, Brian. You're going to lose this campaign. You're going to lose it.
I disagree.
You are a dumbass sometimes. That is so short-sighted.
Still disagree.
You're very short-sighted.
I still disagree.
We're in this situation because you
sitting...
worked independently. You need to broaden your focus. You need to understand
that the other guys don't want to play ball. I do, the rest of the industry to show up. 2 of the 3 guys from Airport Road are not showing up even though they're invited, and I've asked them to. I'm not bringing Soulshine into this because they don't like to play these kind of games. They just are like, I don't know, you probably know, they didn't join the coalition before, of your 3, right? They did not join the Airport Road Coalition. We've been sitting with the mayor and the council since...
And how'd that work for you, Brian?
We're still downtown.
How did that work for you?
Is.
But you're now here. You're now in this campaign. You would have passed this initiative in July.
And I'd have competition this winter, and now I won't.
You are...
I want to look at paint, honestly, because it's the most fun.
You want it to match that thing on the wall.
Yeah. So maybe something like this. Would that look weird on the table? You can be honest.
Maybe.
I just need to log on to my bank account real quick before I embarrass myself at the counter, because I don't have another card to put this on if my personal doesn't work.
So how is it you have no money?
It is a really slow time right now. We've got like 30 employees, half of which are on salary, rent that's easily double what we had last year.
But at what point is this going to start equalizing out, you know?
We dumped all of the money back into the company. So if we didn't spend like $250,000 on
your build out,
building it out, buying a building. I mean, we spent like $300,000 on just product in the first couple of months. And now I don't even have enough money to like fill both of our paychecks.
I can put it on
or
mine.
any cash. Cool. The company owes us a paycheck right now. So if you do have to,
it's still the beginning of the month.
If you have to buy it, I'm pretty sure we could get cash for you at the garden. Pretty sure.
That's cool.
We have no money.
I know.
We have a unique opportunity right now, and this window is small and getting smaller. Talk to me about licensing in general.
You know, we're attempting to get our retail license right now, and so, you know.
Soulshine is attempting to get the retail license.
And then if we're able to do that, then we'll apply for our medical OPC and convert when the shop converts to retail.
Which if we had asked the question sooner, we may have been able to have done a month ago.
Yeah, probably.
Men and women don't think alike.
Right. There was also...
Somebody give me more of this. Do these things work again?
Well, we all know it's a marathon, not a sprint with this whole industry.
Yeah. Can we talk about location, about our location?
Okay, so best case scenario, yeah, we have a shop on Main Street. Everybody has a shop on Main Street. I've heard that, you know, people are definitely not not stoked with the way that things are going with Brian.
I'm struggling. I'm frustrated. No matter what, he's not interested in working cooperatively with anyone. So much of me wants to say, good riddance, go figure it out. I don't really give a shit. I hope that you fail sometimes, but we can't. He shows me the sign that he already had printed. You can't even read the thing. Like, have you ever printed a sign ever in your entire life? And that answer is no. Like, did you talk to anyone that had any sort of graphic
sign about
sense?
what?
About vote yes kind of thing, but I couldn't even tell you because I couldn't read it. He's got blinders on, like he's just so focused on what he's doing and he can't see the bigger picture. And
He thinks he is the bigger picture.
I think he thinks that he can go out there and win this on his own.
We'll see.
Former Breckenridge mayor is against retail marijuana on Main Street. It's too soon to open Breckenridge's Main Street and downtown district to retail marijuana shops. Breckenridge envisions itself as a community with characteristic charm that offers a safe, friendly, and peaceful atmosphere where individuals can live, work, play, and raise a family. So I feel like none of what we do contradicts with any of this.
I got this email on Sunday morning, Mommies Against Marijuana. The presence of multiple retail marijuana shops will discourage visitation from the family market. It will put the town's visitor-driven economy at risk. It should say like it might or it could, but not it will.
You know, I just hope that the accurate information gets out. In fact, you know, I think some of the information saying, you know, we're not ready for it on Main Street. Well, we've had it here. We've had it on Main Street for 5 years. I think the big misconception is that it's something new that we want to add to Main Street, and we don't.
It says, according to the ballot question, we would have to allow up to 5 retail marijuana shops on Main Street.
Yeah.
Which that's not true. Why did they print in black and white and they've been sending out to people, we would have to? That's not the case at all because the ballot says otherwise, such as no more than. I feel that people are being misled. I feel like the opposition has been based upon lies.
I wrote a retort. Too soon, some say, but marijuana stores have existed on Breckenridge's Main Street since 2009. A fact that seems lost when hearing a discussion about how marijuana stores will, if at all, affect Main Street. The Breckenridge Cannabis Club has been operating in its second-story unit in a cute yellow building on Breckenridge's Main Street since 2010. We ask that you please vote yes on December's special election question in Breckenridge.
I think this is a big vote. I hope for 70% no. I mean, I wanted a definite no where the city council they don't have room to budge with it. I mean, that's my hope.
I was surprised there was a PAC formed, and it's not outside money. It's locals. It's I think 2 or 3 locals that have the resources to put into a campaign like this.
It's like they're going to buy their way into this, buy their vote, which is so funny because that's what that same group accused me of.
There's another election coming up. Okay. Everyone who's registered to vote has a ballot in their mailbox. Yep. I'll give you a freaking stamp, dude. Hello, you look fabulous. Like almost famous. That's what you remind me of. Kate Hudson. Yes. My pitch is basically that 20 local jobs are on the line. I don't think he's interested. He kind of spurned me earlier, so just let him do his own thing. The truth, are you interested? Profile, please.
To me, it isn't that big of a deal, really. I mean, I've never seen any kind of bad behavior out front, or not like we do the bars. I mean, you don't see any of that kind of crime coming out of a pot shop.
Thanks, girl. Keep it green.
Put this on our list of businesses not to shop at.
So awkward.
They got pot leaves on the window on their building. I thought that's exactly what we were trying not to do was plaster downtown with pot leaves.
The whole argument is that marijuana is not family friendly, so they went ahead and decided to plaster pot leaves all over town in everyone's face. It's not about the families, that's for sure.
The people that voted no for pot, they're going to vote no for pot on Main Street. It's converting of that 70% that voted yes. It's making sure that they understand the message is, okay, yes to pot, but not on Main Street. Here are some reasons why.
I think there's also a whole host of issues that haven't really been discussed.
What do you think happens if people vote that yes, pot can be on Main Street?
Well, it might create more parking issues for the community.
And to me, it would raise the rents of downtown as well.
Why would we want to be the experiment?
Prefer not to have it here on Main Street. It should be somewhere else.
Things are good here. Now, we just came out of a bad recession. Last thing I want to do is go back there.
There's lots of people out there that are our customers that don't agree with legalized pot. Why would we choose to alienate those people by having such an in-your-face statement? I don't think that's a good thing.
We're just making our rounds, trying to gauge opinions and clear misinformation. And
A lot of people, I think, are misinformed. We get a lot of people screaming, we're going to open up downtown to weed, and there's going to be weed shops everywhere.
I guess that would be my concern more than anything.
You get surrounded by weed
Yeah, and I'm
stores?
like, oh my gosh.
So if you vote yes, you wouldn't be able to have more than one weed store from the light right there all the way to the Riverwalk.
Okay, so I don't ever want to squash somebody's hopes and dreams of having a business or push them out.
Just wait. There's no need to rush into this.
How you doing today?
Good, how you doing? I've had my business here for 29 years, and I know you're a business guy, I'm a business guy. I'm a free market capitalist.
But you don't believe in the free market approach to marijuana?
Free market, that's fine, but it doesn't have to be on Main Street.
Which would be outside of the free market.
It's not good for our business. It'd just be better if they'd move elsewhere.
Like any other business that's legal and we believe a safer choice to alcohol, we would like to offer that choice downtown. Are you aware that our store's been there since 2009?
Yes.
So are you also aware that all the visitor numbers are just skyrocketing?
Yes.
They come in and ask where the cannabis club is, and I tell them it's just a couple blocks away.
Do people come in here and ask you like where the weed is? Or...
Yes.
Do they?
But everywhere I've ever worked in Breckenridge, people have asked me where the weed is.
For
And
like
before
years?
weed was legal, people asked me where the weed was.
We would just be preventing the black market.
Okay.
And we would be preventing the youth from getting a hold of marijuana.
There's still a black market out there. They're still going to be able to get it. I mean, it's in the middle school.
So we card, and marijuana vendors on the black market do not. If there are no weed stores on Main Street, there will be marijuana dealers.
The irony of this whole thing is that if the opposition wins and kicks everybody off Main Street, they're getting exactly what they don't want. They're getting a more prolific black market.
Let's say you're a bellman at a hotel. Your tourists come in, they ride the shuttle up, they don't have a car here. Don't you think your side business, you're gonna go to Airport Road, you're gonna buy the really cheap pot and you're gonna resell it to your tourists? That's exactly what's going to happen.
We still have a black market because they can still undercut the retail market.
An eighth of flowers can cost like $80 at the store, at least after taxes, but you can go find an eighth on the street for $30.
There's a lot of indicators that the black market is really thriving, though. We still see people on Craigslist offering marijuana for sale. Between people with medical cards and now people who are over 21, trying to determine what's legal and what's not legal is much more complicated, much more time-consuming now than it used to be.
This is the sour diesel from New York City.
One of the arguments that the people threw out there was, they said, well, this is going to be a big gift to law enforcement. What we have found is regulating marijuana takes a lot more time and effort on the part of law enforcement than banning it.
I usually grow 30 pounds a year. I can get a medical license and grow up to 75 per person. I can have 5 people.
Yeah, right over here, this is an area that I actually was involved with, where we took 933 plants out of the building right over here. And that was part of a much larger organization where we took thousands and thousands of plants out of homes and other places all over this north part of Denver.
I would think at least 50% of dispensaries take black market marijuana. Sometimes I'll put 5 pounds of weed on my motorcycle and drive up to Denver and put on my suit and tie and sell weed.
When they were arguing or debating the legalization and whether we should pass Amendment 64, one of the things they said was it was going to eliminate the black market, when in fact we have become the black market for at least 40 other states that we can identify.
I know, right? 1 week. There's a letter to the editor here like every day. Breck resident snared in Nashville drug bust. Christopher Crumbliss. You know who Christopher Crumbliss is, right?
Doesn't he own?
He's the former owner of Soulshine down on Airport Road. Oh, that's him. See his picture? Police have seized 425 pounds of pot, valued at around $1.7 million. Yeah, that's about right.
Authorities tell me that this group drove around the country with 425 pounds of pot, basically taking orders, selling weed. Unfortunately for them, that all ends here in Tennessee.
That's not the way the rules are written. You shouldn't be playing that way.
That would have ruined everything if we were in any way connected to that store on Airport Road.
Thank God we're not.
The false assumption that we've been operating under was that we had to associate with a dispensary in order to license this facility. The natural choice was Soulshine, given that there are ties to Soulshine with some of our co-owners. Thank God that this facility was 6 months late. Was this facility finished and we had submitted paperwork to try to tie ourselves to Soulshine, we would all be sitting and looking. I am so glad that didn't happen.
In Tennessee, the sale or possessing with the intent to distribute more than 300 pounds is punishable between 15 to 60 years.
Well, that's an archaic law. We've had to be very careful who we're willing to work with, who we're willing to partner with. Some of them have a very heavy black market background and they're shady and maybe shouldn't be in the industry, and we can't have our name affiliated with any of these other guys. It definitely doesn't help. The headline isn't good for the cause. A lot is going to change in Breckenridge if we have to leave Main Street. So if we lose the election so poorly that council decides that the people have totally spoken and this has got to go, and they decide to kick us out, anyone who has any problem with any industry will then have a precedent to come in and say, well, you did it with marijuana. Why don't you kick out this? Or why don't we limit the number of alcohol stores?
It's gonna be weird if it's a no vote and we have to move out to Airport Road. You know, I wonder what that's gonna do to the business.
We got 4 retail marijuana stores down there. They about cut our business about in half. I think it would be prudent to go to council this Tuesday, particularly if the election seems decided one way or the other. We need to know now whether or not we're staying, because we can't get this done.
I don't even know if I can handle sitting in there, like while they're counting the ballots.
It's gonna be rough, huh?
It's gonna be a long night.
It's gonna be the longest, most stressful day probably yet. We're from the Cannabis Club on Main Street. I was actually just bringing by an informational handout about the election. Did you? Well, that's good. I got my pamphlet back, and they've already voted, and they voted yes.
Breckenridge is one of the most visited towns in our state, and that makes the debate over marijuana shops there even more heated than we've seen elsewhere.
The town council debated the issue so long, they've now told town residents to vote on it.
So, a special election with a simple question. Should retail shops be allowed in the downtown core? But many people say it's not as simple as a yes or no question.
So he's gonna ask you, what does the vote mean, I'm sure?
Yeah.
And he's gonna ask you, are you nervous, and what have you done to prepare?
See you
again, I'm gonna put you right.
You could also throw in there that they've spent well over $20,000 and that we wanted this to be a grassroots campaign and to be about people just making informed decisions, but it's hard to do when the opposition is misinforming everyone.
Yep. I don't think a lot of people realize that they would be asking a long-standing business to leave its location. We're really trying to let people know we've been here for years, we've been a contributing member to the community, and if anyone has any questions, we're here to answer them.
All of these votes will be tabulated on Tuesday.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good, I'm Brian.
Nice to meet you. I'm Abby.
I'm from the Cannabis Club on Main Street.
Oh, cool.
And I was handing out informational pamphlets about the election.
Voting on the night, yeah.
Are you registered to vote in
Yes.
the town? And if you want free pizza and beer or have any questions, or your friends do, we're hosting a Q&A at Northside Pizza tonight. All right, if I could have just everyone's attention for a moment. Really, we're here to answer any questions or concerns anyone may have about marijuana on Main Street. To start us off, though, we've got Councilwoman Elizabeth Lawrence here, and she wants to tell you why she's voting yes on marijuana on Main Street.
First of all, thank you guys for being here. I think it's so important to have people in Breck, especially younger people, be part of the political process. A no vote means, sorry, no retail marijuana here. It's all going to go to Airport Road. I think it's important to vote yes. It's important to support our existing store because we do not want to set the precedent of removing stores off of Main Street at all. So, yes, thank you. There's something to be said about free market and let it reign here. And these people are capitalists. Let them be capitalists. I will gain nothing from that store being on Main Street, but it is the right thing to do.
And if anyone wants to register to vote, I have forms and I'm certified with the state to register you to vote. You'll be able to vote within 48 hours.
What can I help you with?
You can walk around and ask people if they're registered to vote, and if they're not, ask if they've lived here for more than 22 days, they can register to vote. All right, and then tell them to come over to see me. Do you have a photo ID I can check?
I do.
If you want any assistance, let me know.
Awesome, thanks, man.
And this was yours. Do you have a mailing address? I mean, it may not be required. You're just gonna have to demonstrate, I believe, your pay stub to prove your residency at that point.
So many people don't realize that they qualify and that they can vote. They do live in town. They've lived here for long enough. Bring in an I voted sticker to the store. You can get 30% off whatever you want to purchase.
Awesome.
Yeah, so keep that in mind so that you can bring it in.
I think it's a success. This one's really hitting the numbers. We got a lot of the demographic we were going for, the 18 to 35-year-olds. These people are not necessarily gonna vote unless someone asks them to. And now they're gonna vote, and that's huge for us.
I'm just really hoping people vote, because I think if they vote, we'll be fine.
December the 9th, Tuesday, Election Day, is upon us. Quite nervous, as I understand the opposition is from what I've heard. Everyone seems quite nervous. So you're asking, how does it feel to be standing in front of this building today on Election Day, knowing that potentially this could be the last day that we even wonder if we're still gonna be here or not? It's surreal, it's kind of awful. I'm fearful, hopeful we're gonna win, and fearful that we're not. So, we'll see. Marley, what do you got there? Marijuana Main Street, not in the parking lot.
I just had a girl walk up to me and go, "Oh, cute dog. I voted no." And I was like, "Cool, I work here." Yeah.
That's uncomfortable.
I know.
Yeah, I'm scared every day Brian's gonna have a heart attack. And that's the call that I'm gonna get from Caitlin that he is in the hospital. It's hard on all of us. And you know, what do?
Only 9 hours, Caitlin, till we learn what's up.
You know, there's the perception that us on Main Street, we're making all this money and this and that, but, you know, all the money I have in here is spent for bills, you know, taxes. We hope there's a light at the end of the tunnel and things work out and this all just shakes out the way we want it to.
I'm just gonna feel weird being in there at the council. Like,
Just sitting there hearing
just
the
sitting
results.
there hearing the results.
Yeah.
I'm literally gonna need to bring something that I can hide my face in. So I can either cry or laugh or cheer into my sweatshirt, because other than that,
I got a
don't
pretty
know.
good poker face.
I don't know how to not react to this news.
Just smile either way. Smile and handshakes and we'll leave. I gotta leave with you for now. How you feeling today? I mean, who can make a prediction right now? It's really any man's race, I think. I don't know.
It's terrifying.
It is terrifying either way.
We are residents here, and we're concerned about people from states like Texas and Florida who are opposed to marijuana, won't come to Breckenridge to ski or come in the summer. We think it's a real negative for the town.
Why take the risk? And nobody knows for sure what the outcome will be, but why take the risk of bringing people to town and then putting something in front of them that they may find offensive? It's just poor business, poor judgment.
Oh, I was just taking some pictures of these people out here that I don't think belong here. They're trying to take free enterprise away from our Main Street, trying to tell us what businesses can and can't be run, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what the results can be. I can only say that I really hope that they're not going to try and kick out business owners. You know, these are local people trying to make the American dream happen. They should let them have their American dream.
You excited to vote?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I get to have like a word in like my job, you know?
Not a lot of questions on there.
I know.
You need to fill out all that, for sure.
The only other thing I've ever voted for was yes on Amendment 64.
Oh, really? You should vote more often. So hold on, before you seal that up all the way, we've got this guy. This is your secrecy
It has to
sleeve.
be in that? Oh. I almost missed that part.
She's an amateur voter.
I'm an amateur for sure.
Hey, John, how you doing?
I almost missed this part. I thought it was just trash.
I thought you were waiting till the last day. I was gonna say, that's not... I'll be in the audience tonight. We'll see what happens. Good to go. Uh-oh. I'm standing here now, and people are voting left and right. I think they're expecting over 1,400 votes out of 1,900 people that voted in the general election. Hey, Mark. How you doing? Right? I've never been more nervous in my life. What's up, Eric? Hey. Yep, well, I gotta go. Going into the planning or the work session.
Yeah.
So I'll be in the audience tonight. Anything in particular you're expecting or hope
No,
for?
I don't know that anyone is going to go for extending your lease except Mark and I. So
I talked to Ben about that. He was not a happy camper.
yeah, I think it's just him and I left.
Sure.
For the loan too.
Unless it's a yes vote, you mean?
Right. Okay.
I'll see you tonight.
Yeah, bye.
Polls are closed.
You're gonna meet us up there? I am. Perfect. I'll bring you right now. Okay. Ready? You guys ready? We're ready. All right.
Population in the name of health, and it amounts to nothing more than mass medication.
Hello, girls. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Most of the Western world doesn't work.
Okay, so the votes are
We didn't go back that way. Yeah, we just wanted to get home and stare at the wall. Hey, Cam.
There was about 44% voters, which is pretty
Pretty good, right?
big turnout. There were 924 votes for no and 400 for yes. So almost a 2-to-1 margin of people voting no. I mean, it's more or less official, but there's just certain things they have to be sure. So, there you go.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It was a long fight.
I'm amazed by the results.
Me too. Whew. Oh, man. These are big chunks. Okay, then. Well, there's no swimming out of that one. It's okay, Pam. I'm just gonna... Wanna go outside for a minute? Well, that was worst case scenario.
Yeah. I don't even know how that happened. I just don't even know how we can, like...
Remember, we talked about it.
I don't want to go back in there.
You don't have to, babe. I should show my face in there.
Yeah, you should.
Give me a kiss.
Will you just take this back in with you?
What's that?
I don't want to go talk to anybody.
Okay, that's fine. It's totally fine. Give me a kiss. I'll see you soon, okay? All right. You guys still here? You want this back?
Is she okay, Brian?
I mean, I don't know, probably. She's not gonna die, but she left.
I'd love to get this put away so that CNN cameras can go home.
I think that's very astute.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the council approve and adopt the results of the special election regarding the retail sale of marijuana in our downtown area.
Because it was advisory, I think public comment is important, and I think it would be doing a disservice to how we've done this whole process not to include that.
I'd actually like to do it tonight. I think it's time for us to make the decision final and get it behind us.
I do not feel what we put out to the voters was correct. The original question was about an existing store, and for that, I still believe the right thing is they should be able to stay. Instead, we're going to be known as the council that's kicking a business off Main Street, and I'm just not comfortable with that.
I'm still uncomfortable with that portion of it, but I'll be voting in favor of this, but I do want to go on the record that government overreached to me in deciding where a business will be located.
It was rumored that $25,000 was raised for one of the campaigns. And big money in politics in Breckenridge is $25,000. And I regret the influence that money had in this election.
And we honestly thought that, this wasn't supposed to be a big battle. We only spent $800.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Gallagher?
Yes.
Ms. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Lawrence?
No.
Mr. Brewer?
Yes.
Ms. Giello?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mayor Warner?
Yes.
I'm gonna go take care of Caitlin and look forward. Thanks.
I absolutely think Brian did just about everything wrong. I mean, this was totally a reversal of every other marijuana election in this town. Everything has always been pro-marijuana, 70-30, and this totally flipped, 70-30 against.
I'm glad that we came to a conclusion tonight so that Breckenridge Cannabis Club can move on and, make whatever kind of arrangements they need to make. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed because I felt like I was representing our voters this entire time. This was an issue that definitely deserved some attention, and I'm glad that it received the attention. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
The message for legal marijuana in Breckenridge is be cautious. Don't think that there's not a silent power in this town that could shut you down at any minute.
The voters spoke overwhelmingly. 70-30. That was pretty clear, the feeling of the voters. And I think anybody that's an elected official needs to respect that. And I think to put it to bed finally, once and for all, our citizens wanted an answer.
So, with the holidays coming up, it's really important, I think, that we bring closure to the issue, and that way we can start the new year and it's behind us.
Didn't want to come here. Gary and Wendy said we should come to Fatty's. That's where the after party is. And I was like, isn't it awkward for us to be attending an election victory party? Like, I can't go to that. And then Wendy did kind of put me in my place, and she said, you have to remember, these are still your friends.
Yeah.
These are the people that voted you in office. What the Yeah. Yeah, I'm so, disappointed. I feel so, responsible that it got to this point, I would have never, thought this would have happened. I feel bad for Brian and Caitlin. And God, it sucks. These are people that, it's their life, and we just it up. I don't agree with that, so am I even a good person to be on council? Because here I am getting emotional about something, and everyone else just, oh, it's done and moved on. And yeah, it makes me question if I'm doing the right thing.
70-30 is not a mistake. That's a clear message to the leadership in the community that for now, people don't want to have retail stores on Main Street.
You guys trusted the town council way too much. You got bamboozled.
If revenue gets cut in half, we need less than half of the employees we have right now.
It's going to make competition stiffer.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I have basically $0 at this point.
I could file suit for you by Friday.